sky. Proudly there on hilltop high, far above the lake so blue, stands old Howard, firm and true. There she stands for truth and right, sending forth her rays of light. Clad in robes of majesty, oh Howard, we sing of thee.
I'm not having it. I am not having this, not in my dance class. Don't you know your morale is your spirit, and your spirit is what you have to move on. Now, you all can't get so down in your spirit to where y'all can't learn nothing, because you're going to always be in school. In here, out there, everywhere you look.
The road to Washington, D.C. began when I first watched the television series Fame and was introduced to Miss Lydia Grant. I saw her dance and my whole life changed. It was the first show I'd ever seen that featured Black and Latino dancers in such an inspiring way. Well, besides Soul Train, which was equally as inspiring. Who was this woman? There was no internet back then, so I watched the credits to catch her name. Aha! Debbie Allen. Then Ebony, Jet, and Essence all started to feature her on the cover. After reading the articles, I learned that, ironically, her sister was my second favorite actress on TV, Claire Huxtable, played by Felicia Rashad. My investigative work revealed that both these phenoms trained at Howard University. I had to make it to Washington, D.C. But first, let's rewind to the 3rd grade. It was the first day of school, and a skinny girl wearing braids was new in class. She had an odd name, Nequa. A group of bullies started to tease her about it. So I politely introduced myself, gave the peanut gallery a stank look, that I wish you would mess with her look. At that moment, we became instant friends. Nequa and I later learned that our parents actually knew one another from the Black Arts Movement. Her mom, Mama Shanta, was a well-known, multi-talented musician and storyteller in the community. However, by that time, my mother had stopped dancing, changed her name back to Amy, and was done with the whole thing. My father was no longer around either. The summer before, he was shot and killed in Gary, Indiana. Nevertheless, the Black Arts Movement was still going strong, and Nequa invited me to her African dance recital with the Lyle Children's Dance Theater. I was completely blown away when I saw the company. I begged my mother to let me join. Reluctantly, after a few months, she agreed. I would go on to dance with Alayo for the next 5 years, then professionally with Muntu Dance Theater by the time I was in the 8th grade. Alayo and Muntu would become my family. I ate, drank, slept, and breathed African dance. Let's fast forward to high school. Years would pass and I would forget about Fame and Old HU. I attended Kenwood Academy, and scholarly pursuits were my main focus. I received an early college admission and scholarship to any school in Illinois, but Nequa's mom wanted us to consider an HBCU, so she took us on a trip down the East Coast to visit a few. Howard University was our first stop. I stepped foot onto campus, and it was like I stepped into a vortex back in time, or maybe forward into the future. The air was different. It was as if the ether had a voice. All of a sudden, memories of Debbie Allen rushed in, and I had to get to the Mecca. Man, forget that scholarship. And just like that, and behind my family's back, I declined all offers. My plan was to 1, get into Howard, 2, find another scholarship to pay for it, and 3, let everyone know I had it all figured out. My plan seemingly worked until my mama and I reached HU that August, and I needed an extra $5,000 to register. Somehow I had read the paperwork wrong and miscalculated. Amy Moon cussed me out 6 ways from Sunday. 5 big ones was not in the budget. I called back home to Chicago asking my grandmother to help. During that conversation, she tore me a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th one for each of the $1,000 I needed. After all the tears from everybody, she eventually brought me a cashier's check to Harvard University. Wait, what? Oh, Lord. It worked out. I submitted payment to good old HU, and they cashed it. They knew my grandmother meant to write Howard. By the grace of God and my grandmother, I was now a Bison. ID number 170549. The moment I hit the dorms for check-in, a group of hyper and friendly upperclassmen greeted every freshman. They were called the Campus Pals, and they showed us the ropes those first weeks before classes began. They also gave us a crash course in HU history. Our distinguished school was founded in 1867 by General Otis Howard. From the beginning, HU was open to people of all religions, races, and sexes, as can be seen by the original university seal, featuring both women and Native Americans. The idea was equal education for all. And in the first 5 years, Howard educated over 150,000 freed slaves. Howard is full of first. First woman to graduate from medical school, black or white, Mary D. Spackman. First woman to receive a law degree, black or white, Charlotte E. Gray. First woman to become Vice President of the United States of America, black or white, Kamala Harris. The dance program at Howard was also a first. Under the direction of its late founder, Dr. Sherelle Berryman Johnson, the dance major curriculum was unanimously approved by the Department of Theater Arts, College of Fine Arts, and the Board of Trustees. And in 1993, Howard had the first dance major program of any HBCU. It was there that I studied every dance and theater technique you could imagine. Add that to master classes, intensives, rigorous rehearsal schedules, performances, off-campus performance reviews, and daily journaling, and what you have is a thinking, dancing body who was trained to step foot in any room with an understanding of self and his or her craft. The dance faculty at Howard was a who's who in the world of dance. Joan Myers Brown, Sandra Fortune Green, Kevin Ayega Jeff, Pat Thomas, Steve Rooks, Charmaine Warren, Faye Snow, Milton Myers, Sam Lassane, Luther Fontaine, Asan Kante, Lee Ako Thompson, Walter Nix of the Catherine Dunham Dance Company, and Dr. Sherelle Berryman Johnson taught the Catherine Dunham technique herself. I also studied under Mike Malone, one of Debbie Allen's dance mentors, learned acting from Vera Katz, one of Felicia Rashad's teachers, Al Freeman, who played Elijah Muhammad in Malcolm X, Mark Jolin, who gave me my first opportunity to choreograph a musical, Henriette Edmonds, who taught me about business, show, theater administration with Denise Saunders Thompson. The acclaimed Reggie Ray was my costume and makeup design for Theater Professor, technical theater with George Epstein, and stagecraft with Joe Selman. At Howard, I would also become a first graduating class of dance majors from any HBCU in the country. First student to return as a faculty member to develop a dance curriculum for musical theater majors. And first graduating dance major to receive the Owen Dotson Award for Distinguished Alumni. But my story is not unique. I met some of my best, brightest, and most talented friends at Howard, too many to name. The Howard experience is not something that can really be explained, but I'll try. It is the dichotomy of your blackness disappearing, but also being amplified. The irony of not being worried about your skin color, but being utterly interested in everything that involves race. It is an alternate reality in which you understand that how you look can be a barrier, but that's also your competitive edge. I initially went to Howard because I wanted to follow Debbie Allen's footsteps. I left knowing that I would climb the stairs she helped build and reach my own mountaintop. The air is different at Howard. It is a place constructed and rigged to become our African village here in America. A place where we are free to be young, gifted, and black without the gaze of racism upon us. It is indeed our real-life Wakanda, the Mecca.